Bruno Mazzali. We are here at the prayer breakfast with all the world leader from the state of Maryland. I have my sister Cheryl, my sister Lauren behind me, my beloved sister from another mother, Dana. Why we are here today, my friend?
Well, I'm here today because I really have a passion for getting the word out about Dr. Wallach's message, which is health. And I love the saying, Bruno, if you don't have health, wealth doesn't matter.
You see, if you don't have healthy, how much flows you got, it doesn't matter. That's fantastic, my beloved sister.
My name is Lamar Fun, and I am a health and wellness advocate coach. And as a person whose health has been attacked myself, I firmly believe in helping others to obtain optimum nutrition, because like my sister Cheryl said here, if you do not have your health, you cannot have wealth. You can't have a sound mind, sound body, and have the clarity to praise God in all of your embers if you do not have a clarity of mind from your health and your body. So that's why I'm here today, to help others through these world-changing leaders, to get behind them, to help people in our congregation so that they can have optimum nutrition through Dr. Wallach's message. And that's why I'm here today.
Sister Dana, she's the one who put all this together. Sister Dana, what does this means to you?
Well, thank you, Bruno, and thank you, Cheryl and Lamar, for coming out today and joining us. So what better way than to inform, educate, and make people aware than to use God's words through prayer and through using Bible verses from the Bible to educate and show the parallelism between what we're doing and what God wants for us, what He intends for us. So my purpose here is awareness, knowledge, awareness, and pull together a fantastic team of people in the different aspects and facets of getting this message out, whatever her approach is, Cheryl's approach, whatever Lamar's approach, whatever Bruno's approach, and my approach, and just pull all this together to make Dr. Wallach's message the message of unity, health, wellness, and awareness.
All together, we want to welcome you for the next prayer breakfast from here, Maryland. All of them will say happy 95 to save your life.
Thank you. So some of you may not know what 90 for Life is, so let me explain. Although our bodies are complex and multidimensional, there exists a core group of 90 essential nutrients and minerals that have the greatest influence in support of vibrant health. These 90 essential minerals and nutrients are at the center of Youngevity's 90 for Life campaign. Their campaign is committed to improving lives through science-based, high-quality nutrition, and we have a few folks in the audience who can testify at later times on how their products have improved their health. We are excited to host a prayer breakfast sponsored by 90 for Life, and we're going to use this opportunity to promote health, and wellness through fellowship, awareness, and prayer. King James Version of James 5:16 reads, "Confess your faults to one another and pray to one another that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much." How about that? Amen. Amen. So what I got out of that was, and through our convocation over last month, we've been quoting scripture and reading and interpreting it, so it fell right into timing of just going through that exercise. So what I got out of that was, so we open up and pray to one another, and our prayers for one another, which are the prayers of the righteous, have great powers and will produce wonderful results. So our prayers will open up and give us favor to God, and our prayers will avail because God wants us to have a vision. He wants us to have hope, and He wants healthy servants. Amen. We have a program today, a breakfast, prayer, a few speakers, more prayer, and finally a conclusion, a word from our sponsor. So again, thank you so much for coming, and may this program be a blessing for you and the knowledge that you retain. Thank you.
And how I met Dr. Wallach and how he blessed my life and my family's life, and then just give you maybe a few ideas today about how you can actually change your life too. So I grew up, I was the oldest of 7 kids, and I grew up on a farm in Eagle, Idaho. There were 800 people. And I learned a couple of really great things on the farm, which was let's work really hard. And the more you work, the more you work. Because really that's all there was. Did anybody grow up on a farm? No? Okay. So it's a hard life, but you really do learn the really great lesson of work. And that's something that I learned very, very young. As I went through school, high school, I had a lot of learning disabilities. And so by the time I was done with high school, I had something that I had a really, really, really bad sickness. And that sickness was absolutely no self-esteem and no self-worth, because I could not do the schoolwork. And I don't know if any of you have ever been put in the situation where you have to do something that you're really bad at every single day, and you have to continue to do it, and you can never not do it. You just have to do it. That's what's expected of you, and so you do it. So when I got out of high school, there wasn't really anything for me to do. I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any dreams, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And so I did what I think most people would do, and that's work. And so I got a job as a cocktail waitress and as a bartender and as a pharmaceutical drug truck driver. And it was just whatever came along. And I was in the mode, I like to call it survival. And that's all I was doing. I was surviving from day to day and from paycheck to paycheck, and my paycheck was never enough. So I was living with family. I lived with my sister and her husband for a long time. And I did all of these things. And then by the time I was 25 years old, I got the job of a lifetime. And I mean, this job was absolutely out of this world. And I was excited, and I wrote notes to everybody. Oh my gosh, they're putting me in charge of people. And I was so excited because I had landed the job as assistant manager at Taco Bell. That's where my dreams were. That's where my goals were. I was so excited. I might as well have been the president of Google. Really, that's how excited I was. And my family was really excited for me too. My brother was in law school, and he said, just don't quit. Because I would get tired, somebody would tell me something I didn't want to hear, and I would quit. And then I'd go find something else. You know, they told me you can't do you have to do the salad bar at Wendy's, you can't be at the front cash register. And I said, that's not for me. And off I would go. So I never had roots anywhere, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make. So I worked there for a little bit. Well, you guys all have McDonald's calling you. Imagine if you got to eat it for free every day.
Wow.
Because that's what was happening at Taco Bell, and that's what I did. So every day I ate the food. That's all I could afford. And what happened is I started gaining a lot of weight. And my knees started hurting really bad. And I went to the doctor because that's what I did. That's all I knew. And the doctor said, you have arthritis. It's only going to get worse. I think it's because of the foods that you're eating, and you're going to need double knee replacements by the time he said we would do it when you're 40, but we can't. We like to wait because they're only good for about 10 years. So we'll wait as long as we can, take these drugs while you're waiting. And I said, are you sure there's nothing else that I can do? No, there's not. So I was really worried. I mean, I was 26 years old. And because of the foods I was eating, and the weight that I had gained and all of these other things, I had really bad arthritis already. So I started taking the medication, and I just had side effect after side effect. So I called my mom, and she said, you need to stop taking those drugs. Listen to this cassette tape back then called Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and take the Healthy Start formula, Healthy Start pack. And I was like, what? My gosh, she's gone crazy. I really honestly thought she had gone crazy. So I didn't listen to her. And I said, absolutely not. I don't know what she's talking about, but I'm going to take these drugs. Continued to get worse. And I think everybody comes to a point in their life where enough's enough. And then you will do something different. You're forced to do something different. And so that's what I did. I decided to listen to that CD. Actually, it was a tape, cassette tape back then. I listened to the cassette tape, and it made all the sense in the world to me. Because I grew up on a farm, perhaps, or just maybe when I listened to it, I finally got it. I understood, you know what, let's give this a try, and let's just see what happens. I have nothing to lose. And so I started taking the products, and I took the Healthy Start Pack. Has 3 products in it, and I'll tell you what that is towards the end, because that's really the 90 for life. That's the 90 essential nutrients that your body needs. So what I did is I stopped listening to the doctors, exactly what Dr. Wallach said, and I started listening to God, because He made our bodies in a way that they can heal themselves if we give them what they need. And I really believe that, and I believe it more today than I did 19 years ago when I started with Dr. Wallach. So Dr. Wallach hired me. I met him. He hired me to travel with him around the world and get his message of health and wellness out. So I like to bring that point up only because I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people get better. And I was just listening a little bit earlier to Dr. Wallach, and guess what he did? He fixed Creflo Dollar's daughter who had asthma. Really bad. Completely made her whole again. His products and the research that he's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about Dr. Wallach and about the products that have completely changed my life. Let me say one other thing first, how I got here. So Dr. Wallach introduced me to my husband. This is about 10 years ago. And and so, you know, and I never really wanted to get married or anything, but I met my husband and he's a great guy. So I got married and I moved to the East Coast. I was living on the West Coast. I'd never even been to the East Coast. And so you can imagine coming to the East Coast, it's a tad different than the West Coast. And so when I came here, it was just different. And the people were different. And yeah, and everyone seemed to be in the biggest rush, and nobody had time to talk to me or say hi or anything else. And so it was really hard for me when I very first got here. So I decided that I'd take a little time off. I'd already built a residual income. And so I had a lot of people out there spreading the message, Dr. Wallach's message, which was fantastic. And so I felt good about that. So I took some time off. I was blessed enough to have twins. They are 6 years old now and in first grade. And so I was able to take that time off, and I'd always had a goal from the time I was very young to be able to stay at home with my kids in their very young years. So I was able to do that. And my check continued to come in, and I continued to be able to be there for them and really instill in them the things that I think and my beliefs that are so important that need to be instilled in those kids. I think family is extremely, extremely important. And so when they got old enough to go back to school, which was about a year ago, then I decided I needed to do something. And so I decided, what am I gonna, I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I knew I had to decide. And I did not want to get to do Youngevity. I just didn't want to do it again because I was too scared. And I just remember feeling mortified that I was gonna have to talk to somebody because people didn't seem the same to me as they were on the West Coast. Nobody seemed open to health and wellness. And so I didn't really, I just, you know, I thought about it, but I just didn't really want to do it. And so I'll never forget. And I knew that I had to do something, and I knew that I wanted to help people. And so I'll never forget, I was sitting at my kitchen table one morning. My kids were at school, and I was just sitting there, you know, leisurely, whatever. And I'll never forget, I really believe that God talked to me, and He said, how dare you sit at that table while there are people out there dying, when you know you can help them. And so, and I said, but I'm scared. I remember thinking, but I'm scared. I cannot do it. I cannot go out there. And He said, I will help you. I will be with you. Get up, go out there, and you get that message out to people who need it. So I was scared to death, but I really had it in my heart that that's something that I wanted to do. But guess what? I couldn't do it because no one was listening to me. So I prayed and prayed and prayed for somebody that I could connect with, that could connect me with other people who would want to hear my message or who would benefit from my message. And I prayed every single day, and I prayed hard every single day. And after about 1 year, I met Bruno Mazzali. And that's how I came to be standing here today, because Bruno introduced me to Donna and Kay, and they put on this wonderful prayer breakfast for you. So let's talk a little bit about Dr. Wallach and the things that he's done. I think that he is the most amazing person in the whole world. So, and I'll go through this really super quick because I know we're about out of time. So I love that we've already talked about this here today, and we've heard some wonderful speakers, and I think that this is so true. And how we always say it is, people don't know what they don't know.
That's right. That's right.
And if you don't know, then how can you change? So Dr. Wallach has did the CD, or now it's a CD, but did this wonderful lecture called Dead Doctors Don't Lie about 25 years ago. And so that's when it very first came out. He sold millions and millions and millions of them. And now we're taking his message onto these different pastor shows, and we're constantly looking to do that because it really can get the message out as quickly as possible to as many people as possible. So Dr. Wallach, Dr. Joel Wallach, he's a visionary, a lobbyist, a scientist, an author, and all of these other things. You can read those, but he's just really a fantastic person. He really wants to help people. That is his main goal in life, is to help other people and to really make a difference in the health industry. So Dr. Wallach has fought the FDA and the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court 7 times and won. And my husband is the one who sues on Dr. Wallach's behalf, so that we can get claims out to. Okay, I'll give you for instance, because I think this is really important.
Sure, say that part again. The whole phrase you just said.
Which part? This one?
Dr. Wallach is the one.
Dr. Wallach. So Dr. Wallach has sued the FDA.
Yeah.
The federal government.
Yes, 7, 8 times actually now, because he just won on this.
Why?
Because the government doesn't want me to stand up here and tell you things like selenium, by taking whatever the micrograms, 200 micrograms of selenium every single day, will cause your chances of cancer to go down by this much. I can't say that. They don't want me to say that. I can say it now because we won in federal court something called the structure function claim to be able to tell you that. But since I have a selenium product that I want to tell people about and get into their hands, that's against the law for me. It was against the law for me to tell you that. So something else that was against the law to tell you is that calcium will help with arthritis. I can't tell you that. Because by me just saying arthritis, this is really weird, but I mean, I know all this because my husband tells me. But if I say calcium will help with arthritis, I've turned calcium, the calcium that I have in the bottle, just the calcium, into a drug by saying arthritis. Because arthritis is a disease. Okay, good, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So it's interesting, and it's all a bunch of wording and everything else. And I'm like, but I just want to get the message of health out. So anyway, so that's what Dr. Wallach's trying to do, along with other huge companies. So research and autopsies. Dr. Wallach's really, really interesting because he started out as a veterinarian and doing autopsies on animals. And he has done over 3,000, well, he's done over 3,000 autopsies on humans because he was a pathologist. And so he compared humans and animals and found that animals and humans are very similar in that they need nutrients that we're not getting so that our bodies can rebuild themselves. Okay, and we give them to our animals. On the farm, I remember you give little pellets to every single animal that you own. Okay, because everything's in that little pellet, and they make them so that they won't get sick. Because we're not going to pay for a cow with arthritis, or we don't pay for that. Because it would make our food much, much, much too expensive. So he did that, and that's how he really found out why these nutrients are really important, and really important for humans. So he also wrote this book called Diseases of Exotic Animals, and that's in the Smithsonian Institute today as a national treasure, and it's also used in top veterinary schools today. So this is what Dr. Wallach, and actually Dr. Wallach and Linus Pauling, which we'll hear from in just a second, every human and every animal who dies from natural causes actually dies from a nutritional deficiency. So what's the problem? We've heard a lot about the problem today. It's not the healthcare industry, it's the sick care industry. And we are number 60 in longevity. We're 41st in infant survivability. 1 in 3 Americans are diabetic or pre-diabetic, and we're the most obese nation in the world. Okay, so all of that, and we spend more on healthcare than all other nations combined. So Dr. Benjamin Rush, I love this. So he was 250 years ago, a long, long time ago, revolutionary physician and medical professor, early Surgeon General to all continental armies, and he was the signer of the Declaration of Independence. This is what he says, or he said back then, 250 years ago. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover dictatorship to restrict the art of healing to one class of men and deny equal privileges to others. The Constitution of the Republic should make a special privilege for medical freedoms as well as religious freedoms. We got the religious freedoms, didn't we? Yeah. That's right. But we did not get the other. So 250 years later, his worst nightmare is coming true. It's all about the money. That's it. That's all there is to it. So 90 essential nutrients. So these are the nutrients that we need to give our body so that our bodies can heal themselves. So who thinks that we have fantastic, wonderful bodies given to us by God? We all think it, right? We know that. And really, honestly, they should be able to heal themselves. And that's how he wanted it. So this one sentence has killed more people than all the wars in American history. You get all the nutrition you need from your 4 food groups. And let's talk about why that's not true, okay? Dr. Wallach is, like I said, he was a veterinarian first, and he's done tons and tons of research on lifespans of animals. And he figured out that 900 diseases in animals could be eliminated from the 90 essential nutrients. He became a physician. He's had 40 years of practical experience using these formulas on humans, created unprecedented results. And we know, I've seen thousands of them. I've seen this happen thousands and thousands of times. So 90 essential nutrients that your body does not make. So your body doesn't make any of these things. You have to take them. Over on the left, there's 60 essential minerals, 16 essential vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, and then the 3 essential fatty acids. And if you take even one drug, I don't care what it is, something's happening with this, okay? It's leaching something out of your body. And we heard from Karen, and she was telling us about what's happening with just the drug that she takes for her asthma, thank you. Okay, so minerals in the soil. So let's talk about the reason why it's not in our food. Because I hear all the time, but I eat really well. That's fantastic. I think it's wonderful if you can eat all fruits and vegetables and a little bit of chicken or turkey or whatever it is. That's great. I think that that is absolutely fantastic. But the problem is the minerals in the soil, if it's not in the soil, it's not in our food. And our farmlands have been over-farmed. So there's not much in there. But the depletion, the mineral, so this just shows a couple of things that have been depleted. So the soils, the mineral depletion in the soil. So in the past 100 years, North America has been depleted up to 85%. And so it's just, and that's just, and then there's a couple of other ones in there that tell you the depletion, the soil mineral depletion. So you can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a vitamin or mineral deficiency. And that's from Linus Pauling. And he said that quite a while ago. So let's talk about the 90 essential nutrients. So Dr. Wallach's deficiency chart. I'm going to go through each one of these. We broke the body down into these different little compartments. So hard tissue, soft tissue, blood sugar, and digestion. And I want you to, as we go through this, I want you guys to think about yourselves or anybody else that you might know that have any of these things, okay? And then we have something called Complete the 90 plus 4, and that's a self-evaluation health questionnaire, and we'll hand those out, and you guys will have this, what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today, you'll have it on a really nice paper so that you can always have it and look at it and refer back to it. So heart tissue problems. So health concerns often related, this is calcium deficiencies. So look up here, does anybody have any of these things or know anybody that does? And I'll just go through a couple of them. Osteoporosis, vertigo, sciatica, restless leg syndrome, receding gums, panic attacks, elevated blood calcium, insomnia. Who has insomnia? Who knows somebody that has insomnia? Yeah, it's prevalent. I talk to people all the time with insomnia. Bell's palsy, bone spurs, bone fractures. I was just meeting with a woman just a couple of days ago at the university, or Maryland University. Her little boy is 12 years old and he's broke more bones than I can even, I mean, I could not believe it. I was so shocked. Why? Because he has a calcium deficiency. That's all. So what are we going to do if we have a calcium deficiency? So let's talk about that. To help support and promote healthy bones, joints, and connective tissues, that's the structure function claim. That's how I'm supposed to say it. You need the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. So this is the 90 essential nutrients. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the calcium, which here is in a powder, but we also have it in a liquid. And my kids like it in the liquid much better. But you can choose. So we have the Tangy Tangerine, the calcium, which also has magnesium, strontium, vitamin D3, all of the good things in there to make sure that your body can absorb it. And then also the other thing that you would add is the essential fatty acids. So these three products, Tangy Tangerine Peach, the Beyond OsteoFX, which is the calcium, and the EFA, the essential fatty acids, or the fish oil, those three things make up the 90 essential nutrients. And the way that I tell people is think of it as a flower. And in the middle of the flower is the 90 essential nutrients. Then we can decide what other issues you have, and you're going to put a petal on the flower. So in the middle is the 90 essential nutrients, and then the petal of your flower, if you have the bone problems, is what you're going to add the glucogel, which is the glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate. That's what I took to get over the arthritis that I had, and the CM cream. And I know that James took the CM cream and really, James, do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, he loves it. And that's just something that you put on to ease the pain while the other things are rebuilding the bones and joints, okay? And the connective tissue. So let's talk about soft tissue. Acne, Alzheimer's. Who knows somebody that has Alzheimer's? Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's out there. We all do. Cravings. Who has cravings? Cravings. I used to have huge cravings. Psoriasis. Anything really with the skin is how I look at it. Extended menopause, dermatitis, dementia, fibromyalgia. I know so many people with fibromyalgia. So when we share this with them, it's really very helpful, and also the kidney dysfunction. So what would you take? If you'll notice, it's still the 90 essential nutrients, and then what you're going to add is you're going to add some extra EFA, and you're going to add the selenium, which the selenium is also the major cancer fighter. It is, I think every single person in the whole world should be on the selenium. I don't care how old you are. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I really believe that. That is how powerful the selenium is. So blood sugar problems. So this is what we've talked quite a bit about, and what you heard Pastor Jamal Bryant talking about is the diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So that's one of the things that come under the blood sugar problems. Also depression, bipolar, which we heard about earlier, which I absolutely agree is something that they are calling everything these days. You have bipolar. Oh, it's bipolar. It's always bipolar. Narcolepsy, moodiness, all of those things. So let's find out what you're going to do. You're going to do the same thing along with the sweeties, and that's chromium and vanadium. Okay? So let's talk about digestive problems. I hear a lot of people say you are what you eat, and I have a friend that's a naturopath that says you are what you digest. So it depends on your digestion. Okay, so all of these things fall under that, and we're going to call them, and we say what you need, again, is the Healthy Start Pack, which you're going to add the things that are going to help with your digestion, which is Flora FX and enzymes. So here's the flour. Just remember the 90 for life, or the 90 essential nutrients, are the middle of the flower, and then the petals you're going to add. So Youngevity offers so many more things. We have all sorts. We have essential oils. We have chocolate, heritage makers, whole foods. We have all sorts of different things. This is just a Clemson University study of our product, of the Tangy Tangerine, proven to reduce cancer cells. And that's just part of the 90 essential nutrients. And there it is right there. 60% reduction of cancerous colon cells, 65% reduction of cancerous liver and stomach cells, and then the breast cells, 30%. So it's really powerful. So it's all about results. Give your body what it needs and it will do amazing things. And that's from Dr. Wallach. This is one of my favorite sayings. Now that you know what you know, I really believe that it is a huge responsibility. What will you do about it? And we have today a way that you can join our healing ministry. And we would love for you to join us in getting this message of health and wellness out to as many people as possible to really change the way people feel and the way that they live here in the United States. Thank you.
Well, it's really a privilege for me to be here today. My name is Bruno Mazzali from Tanzania, and I'm so happy to be here and sharing good news with my brothers and sisters. As I always say, you are my brother from another mother. So, can you come here, Dana? So Dana and I, we met some time ago, and I had a mission in Mozambique, feeding program in Mozambique for the children in Mozambique. So Dana and I, we met today one of the events with Michael Beckwith, and we talked, we become friends, and we didn't know what to do. So I told Dana, I said, Dana, this is what I do, feeding program of children in Africa. And Dana said, so this is great cause. I think we can work together. So let's see how we can do it. So when I go to California, when I come back, we'll sit down and we'll see what I can do. And I met Cheryl, and I just find out 5-6 million people dying every single day for diabetes and staying in medication. So I realized that there would be something very interesting for me to figure out how I can do this. So I went to Baltimore, meet Cheryl, and figure out what Dr. Wallach is about. Because there's a lot of mumbo jumbo thing going on over there. Right. And I just find out, I said, oh, this is great stuff here. So I look at it again, I say, all right. So children in Africa, oh, my big brother from another mother will die every day just for diabetes, hypertension, all that kind of stuff. Maybe I can do something. So I called Dana, I said, Dana, maybe we can do something. I said, sure, maybe we can. You remember that? Absolutely. She said, yeah, we can do something. So how are we going to do this? I said, well, we'll figure out how we're going to do this. So me and Dana, we sit down and we talk, we figure out some stuff. And I figured Jesus, he was not only taking care of his own people, he had to go to another country to take care of other people. I'm here to take care of my brother from another country. So me and Dana, we sit down and we discuss how we want to do this. So this is a great opportunity for us to work together. And I do believe everything you saw here today, everybody, I think you may open up your mind to see, so what is next? What are we going to do about it? What do you think? Do you think, can we have 1,000 pastors sitting together and talk about this situation with our people who are suffering, our people who have no idea more than listening to doctors and listening to the pastor who is praying every day? Now the pastor's prayer, it's already answered. Dr. Wallach, he's 76 years old. He traveled all over around the country crying for the black people, crying for the people of the color, crying for all of us. What do we do about it? Lack of knowledge. Today, it's a beginning. Let's join our crusade so we can take care of our brothers and sisters. So from today, we declare in our church, diabetes free. Today, we declare in our church, hypertension free. Today, we declare this is the beginning of reaching out to all our pastors all over around the country so we can make sure disease is not the God's will. Disease is not God's will at all. So let's work together. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Brother James, let's do it. My big brother who have been taking me to McDonald's today, let's do it. Am I on visit? Because I'm visit is sin. Anyway, let's do it. So I do pray that we're going to have working together, and Sharon and I, we are willing to work with you, sponsor the event in your church, if we will so we can do this all the time, all day long. It's all about to share the good news. There's a lot of information here, but let's work together. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you all for coming. Please make sure you sign in on the sign-in form. I believe it's still in the lobby, and if necessary, we can bring it in, because Pastor Taylor and Bishop Green want to host a prayer breakfast, so it'll be an opportunity to get some information. I think we're going to try to do it here again. You can bring your people here, and it's no reason why we should not know And we should walk around not knowing what we don't know. We should know, and we should make sound, informed decisions based on the information that we receive. If you don't have it, you can't make those decisions. Thank you again. If you have any questions about the product or there's a business opportunity as well. We're not trying to push that on anybody, but it is an opportunity if you're interested in. There is more information, but more importantly, we want to share the product. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh. How do you find the event, James?
Oh, I found this event to be extremely informative this morning. It's very powerful. The products are extremely good. I'm having very good success from it. And I value this information to all those that are wishing to use the 90 Life Essentials as a starting point in correcting your health. Please join me along the staff and the members of this particular product and let us correct our health issues. I really enjoyed it, and thank you. I recommend it that you be here at the next session. Thank you.
I think what do you think about the event today? It was very successful, right?
It was a wonderful event. It turned out as well as I hoped and better than I expected. I was so glad we got an opportunity to invite pastors in from around the area and some of the other members. And we even invited a few people from the hotel who were just hanging around in the lobby to come join us because the message was so good. And most importantly, we didn't have a full house like we anticipated, but what was the great part about this, which was exceeded my expectation, is so many people got it. We had hoped that people would get the message. They're lined up, and Brian, if you take the camera over there, people are lined up, and the line is diminishing. The line is diminishing, but people have been asking questions, want to know how they can get more information and how can they bring this to their church. So we have a couple of pastors who are going to collaborate and bring their congregation and their ministers and first ladies, whatever, in, and we'll share the word. So right now we're like a tree, you know, a flower. So we're blooming, one leaf, one bloom at a time. We're like spring flowers. They first come out the ground, and then when they bloom, and the time it takes to bloom and mature, it's just a beautiful thing. And that's where we are. So thank you for the opportunity. You and Cheryl did an awesome job of pulling this together and supporting us. My hat's off to my partner in this, Caretha Sterling, who is going through some illness, but she is on 90 for Life and has some own testimony, her own testimony as to things that she's seen that has improved and is taking on a road to better health. So thank you.
And I'm looking forward to work with you. And we're going to take this mission and walk around the country. And then let's do this, my sister. And I hope we're going to do this together. Thank you again. I'll see you next week on Monday.
All right.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yes. Thank you.
Great interview.